Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are back with our friend here. And we have a very particular choice to make. After considering the choices and not doing what I said in the last one, doing exactly what I said I was going to do in the last one, I've decided that refusing to help him is probably the best reaction, just like it is in real life. So we're going with that. I shake my head firmly. Please, Kay. I really need it. I really need it tonight. Sorry, what? You don't know how the last days have been. Christmas was so depressing, and the days afterwards were even worse, and what? And those freaking gangers are out again, and they're occupying Connor Creek. All of it. So I don't even get to meet my other buddies, and what? And then there was this chick who shared her yakitori with me, just like that. And she was really sweet, but then her pimp showed up and, damn it, Spiff, listen to me. That shut him up. I suppose not many people call him by that name anymore. So, Leet and Spiff are the original names of this dude's two friends. Go figure. Look, I have no Nova for you, and I'm definitely not giving you money to buy some from a guy I don't even know. He could be selling you brain bugs for all I know. And I don't want to find out my best friend turned into a freaking shambler. Do you get that? To my surprise, Watt nods. Yeah, Kazu. Yeah, I get that. Good. Sorry. I just don't know what came over me. It's just these last few days, and I thought a flash would be really nice now, you know? I understand, Spiff. And I do remember how hard it is to get off that freaking overdrive, and I don't ever want to go back there. And I thought that at least you don't get stuck on Nova, you know? Yeah, just destroy the section of your brain. You can just reprogram that right back in. I just nod. It's better if he does the talking now. I'm a mess, Kazu. A freaking mess. Good thing it's raining. That way, at least Watt doesn't have to. I'm guessing there's a B there. That's not there. Doesn't have to be embarrassed about someone seeing the tears on his face. Look, maybe you should come home with me. Spend the night in the dry. Get some rest. I try to put an arm around Watt's shoulders, but he pushes me back. No chance, Kazu. I'm a registered flashhead. If you take me into your home, the assholes at Affordable Apartments could throw you out again. That's a risk I'm willing to take. No, absolutely not, Kazu. Watt shakes his head. He's dead serious about it. Between the two of us, you were always the winner. I can't drag you down with me. Oh, come on, Watt. It's not as if... It is, Kay. And it'll always be like that. And it's always been like that. Watt steps away from me. So, are you gonna be okay? I'll try. Thanks for straightening me out. Huh? What did I say? You reminded me that there's at least one guy who still gives a damn about me. What? Even if I don't. Watt gives me a smile and a thumbs up, and then he disappears into the rain. Some people. Now that was a really good scene. I like that. A little predictable, but still, it's got the underlines of humanity are there, the pedantic critic said. I take a deep breath and continue on the way back to my apartment. Having met both Silverslip and Watt tonight, I am painfully reminded of how little I actually left my apartment in these last few weeks. I really didn't have many social contacts in the flesh, so to speak. Not that I didn't have any social contacts whatsoever, mind you. If the rise of VR has brought anything good, it's the fact that people don't have to leave their living rooms in order to meet their friends. Still, even the best current tech cannot entirely replicate the experience of being together with someone else. It just doesn't have the same feel to it. You just know something is a little different without being able to really put your finger on what's exactly wrong. Now, you don't need this monologue dump. I'm just saying you could have just went to the next scene, but that's just a personal preference on my part. I don't know. And then there's the issue with time. One thing VR totally wipes out is your sense of time. You think you spent about an hour in there, 4 hours are gone. It's a side effect of your brain straightening out inconsistencies in the simulation. Some VR providers have decided to have a little clock permanently embedded into your field of vision, but of course that really screws with the illusion of being there. At least there are rain effects now. Then again, if you really want to have the experience of being somewhere else, the only way is to plug into A sensimers? Sensimers. That's what it is. It's to plug into a sensimers. In a sensimers production, someone's real sensory experience are recorded through a brain plug, and these sensory experiences are then made available for others. It's the equivalent of being that other person. You experience absolutely everything the way it was for the person whose senses were recorded. The possibilities are endless. Yeah, endlessly bad. There are a million different ways that can go wrong. Especially the possibilities for porn. Didn't I just... You know what? Yeah, of course. I quickly put that thought aside. If I were into sensimers, I would be spending even less time outside my own apartment. Not to mention without any contact with real people. Again, these buildings look abandoned. That reminds me. I should check if I is available. Here's the thing, and this is hard to do with background art. These look, I mean, if these are 3D models and not photographs or manipulated photographs, that's really good. But the thing is, this keeps it from looking like 2065. Go watch the original Blade Runner. You'll see what I mean. To get the black backgrounds to really look like, yeah, this is the future and this place is a hellhole. As I start the long walk up to 62 flights of stairs, I feel a little guilty. I haven't talked to Aya since Christmas, I think. Not something I'm proud of. Aya is the only childhood friend aside from Watt I still have contact with. Which is a little strange since she and I didn't even go to the same school. God, her face. I have so many things I want to say about that. The reason why I even know her is that our families were in a business relationship. My father was her father's boss, in a way. It's complicated. They were in the mafia. Just say they were in the mafia. In any case, our families spent a lot of time together, and that's how Aya and I got to know each other, and how we became friends. And even when both of our families perished during the war, we still remained friends. After high school, during the time I went to college, I enrolled in an acting school owned by one of the biggest entertainment companies on the continent. Yeah, I know, that doesn't mean much since most entertainment companies reside in Bombay, but still. She quickly got a few roles in VR productions, mostly those of an attainable female lead in romantic comedies. She had one action role as the toughest nails commando in a forgettable game about the war between Sony and Nintendo, but it didn't last for much more than a month. So, this is one of those ways this could go entirely wrong. So, she stars in virtual reality productions as characters in those productions. It's not AI, it's real people acting in VR productions. My brain just went, I don't know, now it's going cross-eyed. At least it was some steady money for her. Last year, though, her employment was terminated when she refused to sign a new contract. I bet I know what this is about. It was one of these corporate marriage contracts which are currently all the rage. I think the idea is ridiculous. You legally marry the corporation you work for as a sign of loyalty, and in return, if you're ever divorced, you may have claims against your former marriage partner. I know where they're trying to get to, but marrying a company, dial it back just a little bit. Or the corp against you, more times than not. Also, Aya Netflix would have been a terrible name. Since last spring, Aya worked as a freelance actress, mostly for indie VR productions, and she started publishing a Sensimers food blog where she goes to restaurants and tries out the menu. I think the episode on prune stuffed nochi has been downloaded over 10,000 times already. Ew. I mean, it can work out, but still. I know that she had a small employment as a host for a New Year's Eve show today, but if I'm not mistaken, that show should be over by now. Let's see if she's on private VR. Okay, that's a bit better. Aya, are you there? Nothing. Maybe still on her way home. I could try again in an hour or so if she's not asleep by then. Oh, there she is. Kazu, hey, Happy New Year. Aya runs over and hugs me, and I return the hug. Happy New Year too. How was your show? Here's my only, well, it's not my only gripe. I have clearly had more than one gripe against this game. But the outfits don't feel like post-apocalyptic cyberpunk, You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's very bright. But that's just me. How's the show? Phew, I'm beat. I can tell you that. Good thing you can't smell me right now. Thanks. Huh? Smell? Yeah, that show I did. I thought that was a VR show. Oh, silly. I told you. Don't you remember? It was the Sylvester presentation from Mike's Car Emporium. It was both flesh and VR. Ah, so you had to be there. Yeah, I had to be there. In a way too small showroom with way too many other people and under 3 sun-alike lamps. Oh, frick. Like always says, if no one has to squint, it's not bright enough. He could at least have used LEDs. Are LEDs still a thing in 2065? Really? Then people have this weird excuse that they cannot decide whether they like the color of their car or not because they haven't seen it in real light. At least that's what Mike tells me. I hope at least the money was good. Yeah, it was nice, though half of it was Toyin. Corp currency. You gotta understand. Total sponsor the show. They're massively promoting their new generation of the Excellent series, and I want to actually see this car. I know, I saw the ads between the fireworks. Did you record the fireworks? No, but I bet Tota did. Wouldn't surprise me if you could already download a sensors of it online. It was really a shame. I was so looking forward to see the fireworks, but then I had to stay in the showroom and sing "Should Old Acquaintance Be Forgot." The game. Heh. And then I had to hug everybody who wanted a hug. And there were a lot of them. Oh. And I only get to hug you online. Aya looks at me, and I'm starting to feel really bad. We really haven't met much these last few days, have we? No, we haven't. We haven't spent real time since early December, and our last VR was what? Christmas? Yeah, Christmas. Here comes the guilt trip. Wow. No wonder I miss you so much. Aya smiles and playfully runs her finger over my chest. I suppose you want to spend a little more time together in the next few days. If you have a little time to spare. I'll smile back at Aya and take her hand. Sure, I do have time. In fact, why don't we log into some nice server right now? Springtime Kyoto Gardens, for example. Or pre-war Waikiki Beach. Aya smile fades a little. Kazu, this may sound a little awkward after I brought it up myself, but could we do this tomorrow? Oh. I'm really tired and really sweaty. I was just about to run off into the shower when I saw you pinging me. And it's a demo, they gotta iron these things out. And as much as I enjoy a nice virtual swim, what I need right now is some real water on my skin. Of course, I understand. However, I squeezed my hand a little tighter than before. Why don't we make our next time together some real time? Sure, why not? We haven't met in the flesh for almost a month now. When are you free next? Why don't we meet tomorrow around noon? We gotta have lunch somewhere and then go for a walk. Eating out? Sure, why not? Our smile is a little pained now. Kazu, I eat out all the time for my food blog. Going to a restaurant always feels like work to me. Oh. Can't we just meet at your place noon and have a bite there? Oh, frick. I hope the panic I'm feeling right now doesn't show in my eyes. Yeah. Sure. No problem. At all. Great. Let's do that then. Alright, Sam's on her toes and giving me a little peck on the cheek. See you in a few hours then. Yeah. See you. Yeah. Okay, now this looks good. There is a real difference between the internal backgrounds and the external background. The external backgrounds are going to need a lot of work. This is one of the better. Let me show you. Like, this is clearly lived in. It's reasonably nice, but it's not a can. It's not fully post-apocalyptic cyberpunk like we would think. But it's clearly a futuristic place, but it still has that. It still has what we see as familiar. And boy, we're gonna have to clean up. With a bright smile, Aya waves to me, and then she's offline. I too log out and take a look around my apartment. It looks exactly like the apartment of someone who has been fiddling a major tech project for the last few months and haven't had much time to clean up. Well, it sure looks like the night, like this night isn't quite over yet. Man, I stumbled on that. Yeah, that's good. I spent the next hour picking up trash from several corners of my apartment and from underneath my furniture. And after I had stuffed it into 2 trash bags, I quickly programmed my cleaner drone for a full disinfectant sweep. But see, you guys see this, right? Like, and this is something I don't know what. I hate to think of what Unwanted would have to do, because this is clearly a manipulated photo. But the interiors and the exteriors are going to have to match here. This demo can't be how the game looks, because when the interiors look good and the exteriors look completely different, we have a problem. Fortunately, there's a public incinerator just on the corner of my block. In the time it takes for me to walk down the stairs, over to the incinerator, back to the house, and back up the stairs, the drone should be done with the toxic disinfectants. My calculations were right, though when I get back, I find out that the drone's AI had decided pretty much all of my rooms need another pass to continue to clean up, whirring and hissing through every corner. Says something about how you live, kid. Since sleep isn't quite possible under these conditions, I sit down on my home terminal and open my jobs account. The one job service slip gave me is the only thing in there right now, protein folding, and I began working on it. Protein folding is pretty much like solving a puzzle. You have to use predetermined folding moves to make one shape exactly match another shape in as few moves as possible. It's essential work for pharmaceutical research. If you find out a good combination, then someone can design a chemical formula that folds a real protein in the same way you folded the theoretical one. And that real folded protein may be the one that decides whether it's cancer or not. Among the pharmaceutical corporations of the world, Miyashima is one of the nicer players. It's not quite a megacorp, and it does a lot of humanitarian work, like mass-producing cheap generic medication for people without medical insurance. It's also a rarity insofar it's still owned by its founder, and not some trust of investors. Also, even though they have their own money, they regularly offer payment in Imperial Yen, one of the 6 non-corp currencies that's still accepted pretty much everywhere. That's a big plus in my book. I spent the next 2 hours going through the folding problems. I'm gonna have to get some water after this. Finding a 9-move solution to one of them. Still, the job requires a solution in only 7 moves, so I have to work on that a little more. But by now I'm too tired for that, and it's 4 in the morning, so I set my alarm clock and off to bed it is. And we woke up in here. Do you not have a bedroom? I wake up around 11 right before the alarm clock would have sounded. Not much of a surprise considering how much I'm looking forward to meeting Aya later. Now let's just get everything ready. Quickly take a shower, get dressed, and then prepare everything for lunch. Speaking of which, what do I actually have for lunch? These last few weeks I pretty much lived on soy sticks, kelp crisps, and cup noodles. One look into my storage closet confirms my fears. I am all out of non-instant food. Frick. Sighing, I sit down at my terminal and quickly check the web for food delivery services that can finish an order in under an hour. Fortunately, there's a ton of them. Unfortunately, most of them only deliver already prepared meals. There are a few that actually deliver raw stuff you can prepare yourself, but all of these seem to cater to rich people who consider cooking a hobby, and the prices are insane. Eventually, I decide for the cheapest of these, a Cantonese trader selling do-it-yourself jiaozi. We're going with jiaozi. Essentially everything you need to make filled Chinese dumplings. I decided for shrimp, duck, and mixed vegetables as filling and sit my order. 43 bucks. Oof. Now is that 4,300 bucks or 43 bucks? Yeah, that they're gonna have to tighten up that currency lingo there. Fortunately, delivery is fast. When I return from my shower, I can just see a roto-drone hanging the package on the mail hook next to my window. Great. I unpack everything in the kitchen and then quickly put on some clothes. Now all I have to do is wait for Aya. A few minutes after 12, my doorbell rings. It's me! Come on up. I press the buzzer and hear Aya open the door, stepping into the house. And then it hits me. Ah! No, wait! But then I already hear the door closing again. Frick, she's already inside. And the elevator's not working. Without waiting for another second, I race towards my apartment door, rip it open, and start sprinting down the stairs. I cannot just let Aya walk up 62 flights of stairs without at least meeting her halfway. I'm just on floor 55 when I hear the elevator move past me. What the? It's working again? Cursing, I turn around and start racing back up the stairs. I hear the rusty little ping of the elevator doors just as I'm on floor 60. Panting heavily, I manage to arrive on the floor where I live just as Aya reaches my apartment door and, to her puzzlement, finds it closed. She's wearing that. Does she have it? Okay. Maybe in the actual game she'll have a alternate outfit, and maybe he'll actually. Maybe they'll have. I would hope they have alternate outfits, and he'll have an expression showing that he just ran up and down a couple of flights of stairs. Kazu, what have you been up to? Just a slight misunderstanding. I walk past her and light my apartment and lead her inside. Wow, it smells really nice in here. Is that room perfume? Actually, that's the smell of my shower air freshener. I think I left the bathroom door open again. Yeah, something like that. Man, it's been an eternity since I've been here. I don't remember this place anymore. Either that or it really looks different now. Well, that's what it looks like when I actually bother cleaning up. I made a few changes, but nothing drastic. You hungry? A little. What do you have? I was thinking about dumplings. They don't take long to make. Sounds good. Can I help you? Yeah, sure. Aya puts her jacket and purse on a hook, and we both go to the kitchen. A few minutes later, we're both cutting meat and vegetables into little pieces. That's real food, isn't it? No synthesized meat. Or is it? No, that's the real deal. I'm impressed. I had no idea you live so natural. To be honest, I don't usually have stuff like that. But for a special occasion like this... Special occasion? You coming to visit. I have very slightly blushed. Aw, you shouldn't have. Well, from what I've tasted on your blog, you eat really good food all the time, so I thought... Kazu? Really, that wasn't necessary. You shouldn't have made such an effort just for me. I wanted to. I wouldn't have minded some cup noodles, or even microwave sword sticks. We ate all that crap already. I still wanted to. Aya says nothing, but she smiles. No matter what she just said, she appreciates the gesture. I'm sure of it. A few minutes later, we're wrapping the fillings in dumpling dough and putting the finished dumplings into a large pot of hot water. In the meantime, I mix the soy sauce and powdered kelp into a dip, seasoning it with Nutri-King's Asian Delight No. 4. Or in R4. That's it. We're going to go with number. I have questions, but I'm going to hold them. When we sit down to eat shortly afterwards, it's the best I have eaten in several months. And from the way Aya grins at me, it must really show on my face. What? Nothing. It's just that I've never seen anyone get so much satisfaction out of eating dumplings. I grin back. Well, there's nothing like home cooking. Or is there? No, nothing like it. We continue to eat, both looking into each other's eyes. It's good sharing Aya's company again. I really miss her. I really should have spent more time with her these last few weeks, but, well, I knew I was close to finishing my virtual machine, and I really wanted to get it done. Yeah, that's pretty selfish of me. Well, at least he recognizes it. But now I can make it up to her. By the way, Aya. I'm done. You are? Yep, the virtual machine is finished. Aya immediately puts down her chopsticks. Show me. But the dumplings. Show me. She stands up, and I do the same, smiling at her. Come with me. We walk over into the bedroom. It also doubles as my working room. So that is your bedroom. You sleep on that bench? That just seems impractical. It also doubles as my working room, at least with the bed lowered into the floor and the workbench extended from the wall like that. Oh, okay. Go figure. Here it is. I skeptically looked at the device I handed her. Looks like a pair of 8-gen VR goggles to me. Just not as sleek. Hey, you'll be surprised. Put them on. Aya does as I tell her. They really don't fit that well. I've tailored them to my face, at least for this prototype. The serial model will probably be adjustable. It had better be. I can still see some light shining underneath. That will detract from the experience. No, it won't. Trust me. As I'm talking to Aya, I start the small synth server the virtual machine is connected to. A few seconds and the simulation is ready. Really, Kazu, it will. You need to block out the wearer's senses as much as possible. I can still see some outside light, and I can still hear you, so that's definitely something you need to... Hold that thought for a second. I turn the virtual machine on. Nice! I see why the external backgrounds were kind of cheap looking, because I'm sure some money went into this. Not bad at all. Huh? What's that little... And then she's connected. I can see it. Her body stiffens as the commands from her brain get rerouted into the simulation. I probably should have asked her to sit or lie down first, but in theory, she should be safe. She's about to hit the ground hard. The neural feedback she's receiving from the sense server keeps her body balanced, even though her brain no longer controls it. It's pretty exhausting to maintain a standing position like this, but for a few minutes, it will be fine. I only wish I could be there with her right now. But unfortunately, the computing power I have available isn't enough to support more than one end user at a time. Still, she gets to experience it. That's enough for me. After another few moments, I pushed the little button on the side of the virtual machine. Soft disconnect. She should be taken out of the simulation in the course of a full 10 seconds. No chance for any sort of shock. I stand behind her anyway as her senses return to this world. Better to take no chances and catch her in case that she's falling. She's not failing. Instead, she inhaled deeply and then takes the virtual machine off her head. Wow. Well, how was it? Wow. Just wow. Intense. Okay, she's gonna need another expression than that. No difference from 11th gen Pentasensory VR, right? I hesitate for a moment. Or is there? There is one difference. Aha. This feels more real. It does? I nod. She looks gravely serious as she does that. I've never felt so there in no other VR environment ever. It was as if I was truly part of that other world and not just experiencing it. Well, yeah. Don't exaggerate it. I'm not. It felt absolutely real. Aya, it was an empty white room with a spinning with a spinning icosator inside. The air was programmed to smell like public domain strawberry number 16, and the textures of the icosator was public domain sandpaper version 2.2. And humming from the inside of that thing was you humming, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Hey, you're good. I know, it was an entirely surreal scene, but it doesn't matter. Aya turns to me, her face is dead serious. I was there. You made me go to that surreal place and feel like I was really there. No VR has ever been able to do that. Now I know you're exaggerating. You didn't even have a character model. You were just a presence without a body. See? I didn't even realize that. It felt so genuine that I didn't even realize I had no body. I scratched my head. Well, Kazu, your virtual machine, it's amazing. It's totally amazing. I didn't even notice that the moment you put that neural plug into my head. Speaking of which, how are you able to access my neural plug? It's only compatible with Wuling networking tech, and your server over there doesn't look like anything Wuling makes. I'm not going through your neural plug. I'm going through your optic nerves. Thus, the goggles. They scan your eye, then they connect to your optic nerves with monomolecular optic fibers. Wow. I continued staring at me with that look of amazement on her face. Then, all of a sudden, she smiles. What else do you have? What do you mean, what else? Other VRs, aside from the one with the spinning 20-sider. None so far. This is the only tech demo I currently have. But I could probably just hook up your virtual machine to the web and join another VR server, right? No, I'm afraid not. I'm using a non-copyrighted online interface. All of the VR servers out there are DRM to one of the major providers. And I can only imagine if it's as real as you say it feels that could go terribly, terribly, terribly wrong. Really? Sorry, really. You're not taking the virtual machine into the web right now. But there's all sorts of pirated stuff out there on the web. DRM-free VRs. Couldn't you just link into one of those? The only way to access the dark web is by connecting to one of the legal registered portals, then finding a cloaking glitch, then taking a backdoor to where you want to. So, the virtual machine doesn't connect to a registered portal. You're locked out of the entire web, essentially. But there are open portals without DRM, the public portals. Only that the public portals don't have the necessary computing power to support VRs. You need a quantum supercomputer to manage that sort of data traffic. And there are none of these computers you could hook your virtual machine to? None at all? I shake my head. The thought in itself is ridiculous. The megacorps are making trillions by controlling access to quantum computer systems. No way to just open up one for an unregistered device. I see the expression on my face and sighs. Oh, what a pity. I really wanted to see what your virtual machine can do with a full VR setting. Hey, don't worry. You will, as soon as the serial model is out. Really? Really, really. All I need to do is buy a license for one of the major providers and add the necessary DRM tech to the virtual machine. That sounds really great. When will you be ready? As soon as I have the money. And that will be when? Well, tell me. Don't keep me waiting. Probably somewhere by the end of this year. What? Please understand, licensing isn't cheap. Probably going to cost me something close to 100,000 bucks. 100,000? I can get a loan for about half that. I've already spoken to a few people, but the rest, that's something I still have to earn. But what if it doesn't work out the way that you think it will? What if something goes wrong? What do you mean something goes wrong? Say your virtual machine breaks down, or you find a bug that makes it necessary that you rework the whole thing. Aya, I really did my homework on the virtual machine. It doesn't have bugs. He said fatefully. Still, you're taking so much of a risk. Suddenly, Aya looks at me. She has an idea, and I'm pretty certain I'm not going to like it. Kazu, your virtual machine. Why don't you sell it to one of the corps? Guessed it. No. But Kazu... No, absolutely not. Why? It would be so much easier to... For the same reason you'd rather be an independent actress than married to an entertainment corporation. The moment I say these words, I know they're a mistake, but I say them anyway. Just call me Mr. Footmouth. Yeah, you seem to have that disease with women. Good job, idiot. I understand. Yeah, I understand. I hands the virtual machine back to me. Thanks for letting me try this out. It has great potential. It really has. Thanks. I only wish there was already more you could do with it. I mean, your demo is great, but it's still just a demo. I see what you did there. I know. Look, if you need any help promoting your virtual machine, please talk to me. I can help you set up a presentation. I still have a few contacts in entertainment. That would be really neat. But you should have a little more to show than just one demo. I think it's a pretty convincing demo. Oh, it's a convincing demo. No doubt about that, but you don't just want to convince people, you want to knock their socks off. Oh, I'm sure you can do that. You have it in you. I know it. Damn. I think now I'm blushing, and even more so as Aya stands on her toes and gives me a little peck on the cheek. Her real lips feel so much better than simulation. See you soon, Kazu. See ya, Aya. Whoa, wait! We haven't even finished our dumplings and... Bye, Kazu. And just like that, she walks out and leaves. Now without turning around one more time and smiling at me. And then she's gone. I take a deep breath. That probably could have gone better. Probably, definitely. Frick, Kazu, why don't you just shut up once in a while? Why do you always have to blurt out the first thing that comes to your mind? I mean, it is the truth. I never sold a virtual machine to someone else. Not until I've released it myself. Not until I've proven that I can do it. But I didn't really have to remind Aya of the choices she made herself. Painful choices, I suppose. Choices that mean she now does Sylvester shows for local car salesmen instead of AAA VR drama series. Even worse is the fact that she's not exactly wrong about the virtual machine. It works just the way it's supposed to, but I really don't have a good way to prove that to the world. Linking it to a real VR environment instead of just my own little server would definitely do the trick, but that would require free access to a portal managed by a quantum computer. And I don't have that access! We're talking about state-of-the-art technology here! A managed expert system, and it cannot be controlled by a corporation, or they just use the opportunity to read out the virtual machine circuitry and steal my tech. I'm pretty certain there must be systems like this, of course. There are some quantum supercomputers that don't belong to corporations, or by rich eccentrics using them for their own lavish private virtual parties where no one can spy on them. And I'm pretty sure the American military has at least one of these things. I mean, there isn't much left of old America, with over 40% of the country in corporate ownership. But if one thing still works, it's the military, of course. For someone like me, though, getting my hands on that sort of technology is just impossible. Or is it? Alright. Is that the end of the demo? Or is this a cutscene? Or a loading scene? What's going on? Yep, that's the end of the demo. Like, it took me a few times to go like, what's going on? But yeah, so honestly, really good demo. I enjoyed, like, it has that underlying humanity that Cyberpunk needs. It feels real. Like the issues in it feel like they're based off of real people, and that helps a lot. Some of the lingo needs a lot of work. You don't want to just bury people in. And I know you got to make the world. The only way to make the world feel real is to use the same lingo that people do in everyday life. Otherwise, it's not going. If it feels like they're explaining what everything they're saying means, it doesn't feel like they're actually speaking. But at the same time, we should know the difference between $4,300 and $43. I think it's $4,000, but you know, I actually kind of like his character. I get it. I get his character. I think it's a better way to put it. Extra screens and process. Yeah, I really get his character, and there seems to be a little bit of depth in there. Clearly, he still has that anime main character disease where he can be a jerk and nobody really takes it out on him too hard. But I like the fact that he has drive and ambition and has a point he feels he needs to make, which, from what I read in the promo material for this game, seems to be what gets them into trouble. Like him and maybe I don't know. It just says the girl he likes. It doesn't get any clearer than that. But I like that, and yeah, there's definitely some good to this, and I'd have to see more. I would definitely play the full game when it comes out, but a lot more has to be seen, and it needs some polish. They really need those exteriors fixed because it takes you out. You notice when it doesn't fit. That apartment building needs some work, guys. There's just no other way around it. Other than that, and just working on some of the dialogue and tightening that up and making sure, like when you had it with his friend who's an addict, and he immediately spills off into a monologue. That entire thing, in my opinion, wasn't necessary. You could just leave it with the emotion of that moment and carry it over into another childhood friend who is actually doing all right for herself. So, the game honestly has a lot of options. I'm liking it, and we'll see what Unwanted Studios, what they do from here. Definitely check out links in the description for this and their other work. And hopefully you've enjoyed the demo. I certainly have. I find it very interesting, but like I said, we'll have to see more and go from there. Leave a like in the box where you can do likes if you have enjoyed the video series. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so, and we'll have some more demos for you soon. There's a lot more that I need to play that I haven't played yet, and it'll be coming to you in the very, very near future. In fact, I have one that I've been meaning to play that should be going up, or it should already be up now. I don't know. It depends on when YouTube decides to put it up. I don't know. Anyway, thanks again. Thank you for Unwanted Studios for bringing this demo to my attention, and we'll see more of Warped Reality when it's ready for release. I'm guessing sometime next year, early next year. I don't know, but we'll see. But yeah, thanks guys. Until next time.